So let's have our first rationalization for February 2025 CLE. So sa tapusin nyo ang video na to para guided kayo sa paparating na examination. Kasi tapos na ang era na more on definition of terms ang lumalabas. This time, more on application na talaga. So just like this. The question is, imagine you are a ballistician. A fired bullet and a suspected firearm had been collected from the crime scene. So how would you reach a conclusion based on the 7 problems of forensic ballistics? Again, given a fired bullet and a suspected firearm had been collected from the crime scene, how would you reach a conclusion based on the 7 problems of forensic ballistics? Again, you cannot answer this question without going back to the basics or yung foundation ninyo. So you need to master the 7 problems of forensic ballistics. So isa-isahin natin ang 7 problems of forensic ballistics. Paki-take note ninyo. Una natin na problem in forensic ballistics kapag given a fired bullet. Again, the first one is given a fired bullet. So natagpuan mo ngayon sa crime scene yung fired bullet. So as a ballistician, tatlo ang dapat mong alamin dyan. You need to determine the caliber, the type, and the make. So CTM. Again, given a fired bullet, you need to determine the caliber, the type, and the make of that bullet from which firearm it was fired. So that is the problem number 1. So halimbawa naman, ang problem number 2 naman natin, given a fired shell. So given a fired shell, that is the problem number 2. So ano ngayon ang gagawin mo as a ballistician kung shell naman ang natagpuan mo sa crime scene? So again, ang sagot natin dyan is same process ang gagawin mo. So you need to determine the CTM, the caliber, the type, and the make from which it was fired. So that is the problem number 2. Then problem number 3 natin in forensic ballistics is given a fired bullet and a suspected firearm. So again, natagpuan mo naman ngayon ang fired bullet and a suspected firearm. So sasagutan na natin ang tanong na to. So as a ballistician, you need to determine if that fired bullet in the crime scene ay pinutok gamit yung firearm na yon. Again, you need to determine whether the fired bullet was fired from the suspected firearm in the crime scene. That is the problem number 3. On the problem number 4 naman, given a fired shell and a suspected firearm, so ano naman ang gagawin mo ngayon as a ballistician? So number 4 problem, so you need to determine same process, whether that fired shell was fired from a suspected firearm. Then problem number 5, kapag halimbawa naman, given 2 or more fired bullets ang natagpuan mo sa crime scene, 2 or more fired bullets. So titingnan mo ngayon as a ballistician kapag yung 2 or more fired bullets na yon is nanggaling lang sa iisang firearms. That is problem number 5. Then problem number 6, you need to determine kapag there are 2 or more fired shell or cartridge cases ang natagpuan mo sa crime scene. So as a ballistician, same rule pa rin ang gagawin mo. You need to determine if that fired shells or cartridge cases ay pinutok gamit ang same or iisang firearm. That is problem number 6. Then problem number 7, given the firearms, ang natagpuan mo ngayon sa crime scene is yung firearms ngayon. So you need to determine whether or not the firearm is serviceable or not, or nagpa-function siya. So that is the problem number 7. So in this question, a fired bullet and a suspected firearm ang nakita sa crime scene or na-collect sa crime scene. So of course, ang sagot natin dyan, that is letter B. Given a fired bullet and a suspected firearm, you need to determine whether or not the fired bullet was fired from the suspected firearm. So again, the 7 problems in forensic ballistics. Unang problem natin, given a fired bullet, given a fired shell, given a fired bullet as a suspected firearm, given a fired shell and a suspected firearm, given 2 or more fired shell or bullets, or given 2 or more fired shell or cartridge cases, and given the firearm. So you need to determine, or you need to process or to master the 7 problems in forensic ballistics for you to answer the complicated questions just like this. So I hope nasundan ninyo, I hope na nakuha ninyo yung pinaka-point or yung pinaka-gist ng ating rationalization this evening.